Hey, what's going on Who That Nation? It's yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And as you all can see, I'm not in the studio. I'm actually on the go. I just came from the gym at the amenity center in the neighborhood that I'm in. And just doing a little walking today, man. Thought that I answer some questions about Saints football, as I go along, what I'm saying, as I take this walk. I hope everybody having a good Sunday. Hope everybody enjoying their day. It's about 11 o'clock, 11:50 here, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Thought that, since I have this little walk home, probably like a half a mile, thought I'd probably answer some questions about the New Orleans Saints as I go. So feel free to ask me any questions you feel. Um, Thought I'd talk a little bit about Saints football, talk a little bit about Drew Brees. I caught the interview, head coach Sean Payton. Sean Payton, talked a little bit about the legacy that Drew Brees left behind and how these guys have to live up to the expectations. And he's definitely right about that. You know, I think that we shouldn't, take these guys, you know, and just make them like they're going to be the next Drew Brees, or if they don't do something that Drew Brees would normally do, I don't think that we need to hold it against them. You know what I mean? I just feel like Drew Brees was a legendary quarterback. And, some of the things that he's done in the Saints uniform, or what he's done, won't be replicated. And that's something that we have to come to grips with. We do, however, want consistency at the quarterback position, regardless if it's Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston. Me personally, I'm more of I fall into that category of Jameis Winston, most likely being a starter, more so than Taysom. But whoever it may be, I'm just hoping that whoever it is, they can solidify their position where we won't be looking like the Miami Dolphins or the Denver Broncos, teams that had legendary quarterbacks and they've taken years to try to find that next guy, Miami think they have it in Tua Tagovailoa. There's still some unanswered questions about him. Denver, they still looking. They have Drew Lock. They traded for Teddy Bridgewater, but they still looking for that next guy. I don't want us as Saints fans to fall into that same category. Um, Looking at Jameis Winston, you have to like what you see. You got to like what you're looking at on video, but those are highlights. We can't just fall in love with that. And hopefully, what they're showing us, is a guy that's like he's turning the corner and working on the camaraderie and chemistry with his wide receivers and tight ends. Hopefully, that can translate to the field. With Taysom Hill, he's more of a behind the scenes guy, and I don't feel like we need to judge Taysom Hill because he's not showing us video. We live in this world today where we feel like, you know, we got to see the progress, like we got to see the work into play. And if we don't see it, then it don't exist. And I don't feel like that's fair. Uh, we don't know how Taysom Hill is going to come into training camp. We don't know if he's going to get better as a passer, better as a decision maker. I'm hoping that, regardless to who it is, hopefully they become a better version of themselves the last time we actually seen them on the field as a starter. So I can't pull up your comments, as far as like highlighting them on the screen, but I can see them as I walk. So I do apologize. I'm going to read some of your comments. Shouts out to Mark, Damian, Chemo, Derek. Damian says, "What's good, my fellow New Orleanians? I see you getting that beach body together on a Sunday. I just finished up myself. Yeah, man. Yeah, I got to get back into it, man. I just need to work on my cardio, man. I ain't trying to brag on myself, but I have some really good upper body strength. But I'm saying that core work is what I need to do some work on, especially probably in about 20 days, man. Me and my wife, we celebrating our 1 year wedding anniversary. We going to San Juan, Puerto Rico. So I won't be on the beach with the dad body. You know what I'm saying? I'm at looking swole at the top, pudgy at the bottom, man. So I had to work on my core, man. My wife is a good cook, so You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's hard to say no to some of the things that she's cooking. So working on the cardio, man. Up my cardio game. Went on the treadmill. Still gonna be doing some heavy weightlifting, man. Trying to, you know, build up my muscle and stuff like that. Cardio is important to me right now, and ab work, man. That's what I'm gonna be working on for the next 25 days. So that's what my focus is. Mark says it ain't gonna be easy to replace a legend like Breezes, but I think if Winston cuts down on the interceptions, he's got a shot. Yeah, I think even both guys. You know what I'm saying? Like if Taysom Hill can come in, throw the ball pretty, much better. I feel like if I can like critique anything about Taysom, I think his deep ball needs some work, and his decision making needs some work. You know, getting the ball out of his hand. I don't think Taysom Hill trusts himself enough. You know, like you got to throw that ball out there. Like there's a couple of times where he had guys wide open, but he just didn't. He just didn't throw the ball, and that's not the way to go, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to trust what you actually see. He had about at least about I can say about 2 or 3 touchdowns that he didn't throw, and I feel like that comes, from Drew Brees. Like Drew Brees has set the standard about making good decisions and not turning the ball over. And sometimes guys get in their own heads and it causes them to be afraid to make that mistake. But you can't think like that, man. You gotta let that ball go and you gotta let it fly. And if you do that, you don't know what's gonna happen. But nothing will happen if you don't get it done. I believe the wide receiver depth is better than people think. Yeah, I agree with that. You know, I think that we have a lot of young wide receivers that are hungry, that are ready to play. Um, I'm interested to see how they're going to perform. I just think that veteran receivers were a better fit for Drew. Guys that Drew can count on, he can work with. The game is slowed down for. So I can understand why the Saints were trying to go in that direction. But now you have somebody like Jamison Taysom that can get the ball down the field. I think that it's better. You know, I made it back to the crib, man. Made it back to the house. But yeah, I just think that with these younger receivers, you got guys you know, an explosive with explosive arms. I think that will help some of these young wide receivers. And it made me think about back in the day when Drew Brees was in his prime, and you had unnamed, unheralded, unheralded wide receivers like a Robin Meacham, like a Devery Henderson, like a Marcus Colston, and the Saints build off that. They build off those young guys that we never even heard of. And I think that this can be the same type of way. You get some guys that nobody really ever heard of, but you have the quarterback with the arm strength in order to put the ball in their hands in order for them to make plays. And you can get them the ball in ways that they specialize in, right? Like we knew Devery Henderson was good at throwing the ball down. Drew Brees throwing the ball down the field to Devery Henderson. Devery Henderson, you know what I'm saying, on those street routes, he was going to come down with the football. So looking at some of these young guys, man, they got a lot of talent. They got a lot of talent, man. King says, I see a TJ be in South Carolina often have my SOTS t-shirt on weekly. Well, I appreciate that, King. Thank you for supporting the podcast. I'm rocking the throwback State of Saints podcast t-shirt today. The first design that we had before we went to the SOTS logo. Is everything working right? I'm not sure about is everything working right exactly. What you mean by that, Jules? Who that TJ and fam? What's going on? Empty Minded Gaming. Thank you for being a supporter as well. Jules says, let's discuss the Saints. Yeah, I mean, look, I just think that the Saints are going to be better than a lot of people giving them credit for. I think that they're going to have some ups and downs, of course. That happens when you have a little bit of a transition, especially at the quarterback position. But I don't think it's going to be to a point where people just think they're just going to fall off a cliff and just automatically just think that these guys aren't going to be good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that I think they're going to be a contender, and I think they're going to be more explosive than a lot of people think that they are. Do you feel that Jameis will have tunnel vision with certain players like Traquan? I don't believe so, but they are trying to build that bond. He will use his weapons. Well, look, I don't think that he's going to be have tunnel vision when it comes to Traquan. I think that the chemistry that they're developing is going to be beneficial more so to Traquan than it is Jameis. Because when you have a guy like Michael Thomas, I feel like Michael Thomas is going to be good in anybody's offense because of what he can do well, getting off the line of scrimmage, being able to run routes, have really good hands. He's able to, run routes crisply. You know what I'm saying? So he can work in any situation. I'm not too much concerned about Michael Thomas and his chemistry with Jameis Winston because I just feel like he can just play with anybody. I mean, we've seen that happen when Drew went down 5 games with Teddy Bridgewater. And then also Taysom Hill was throwing on the ball too. It didn't matter who was throwing Mike the ball. Mike still coming down with it, and he still put up big numbers. And that's one of the main reasons why when people were talking about Michael Thomas and discrediting those 149 receptions, I kind of just raised my eyebrows and wonder to myself, like, what in the heck were they thinking? You know what I'm saying? What were they thinking about? Um, because this dude was catching passes from everybody. It wasn't just Drew Brees, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't just short yardage passes either, you know what I'm saying, that he was throwing. So are you telling me that Drew Brees was throwing short passes, Taysom Hill was throwing short passes, and Teddy Bridgewater was throwing short passes to him? Like that doesn't make too much sense to me. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Your boy Jay says, I feel like Jameis can elevate this wide receiver core to the next level with a consistent deep ball. I think he's ready for a challenge. Look, look, I know people are like happy about a deep ball and throwing the ball down the field and stuff like that. Look, I understand, I get it, but that's definitely not a deal breaker to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand how the quarterback position works. You know what I'm saying? It's not just about throwing the ball down the field. I understand like you need that deep ball dynamic, but I just feel like people are liking Jameis more because he can throw the ball down the field. Every highlight that I'm looking at, I'm watching people like show video of him throwing the ball 20 plus yards down the field. Like I'm more interested in some of those shorter routes as well, man. Like, the short yard accuracy, that medium yard accuracy, that's what I'm concerned about. That's what I'm concerned about. Scroll down a little bit. Derek says, TJ, as soon as Winston makes one mistake, I can hear some of our fans ranting just watch and see. Oh yeah, that's a given. That's not a surprise to me. That's definitely going to happen. It's not a surprise that it's definitely going to happen. That's something that some of these Saints fans are waiting for. Because I mean, we're definitely impatient. I mean, we're impatient at every other position. If a cornerback make a mistake, he's sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like he can't play, he can't ball. Find somebody else. Free agency, who available? I'm getting emails. TJ, who you think we need to get a cornerback because such and such got burnt last week? Like, nah, bro. People gonna make mistakes. It happens. It happens. That's just the way things go. You are going to make mistakes at the quarterback position. I'm just looking at I'm going to judge based on what I see over, you know what I'm saying, at least more than 1 or 2 games. And it's going to take more than 1 or 2 mistakes in order for me to just completely discredit what I'm watching, you know? And I feel like if people need to do that themselves. TJ, thanks. You're helping motivate me to get out there and get some exercise. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm just trying to get in shape, man. I'm just trying to focus on the cardio and stuff like that. And, dealing with type 1 diabetes, you definitely want to get up and go and move around. And, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be laxed and, you know what I mean, sitting up in the house and, you know what I'm saying, eating a bunch of nonsense. I want to get up and go, man. And also, man, exercise helps you free your mind as well, man. Like when you're frustrated and you're ticked off about life, man, it's therapy in itself, man. Like most therapists will tell you, like, go out and exercise and stuff like that in order to help your mental state, man. So it definitely helps you. I've told you numerous times, TJ, I know Troutman is a dog, but I'm still on that. Prove to me you're a dog. Just my opinion, TJ, but who am I? Nah, yeah, that's a good point. You know what I'm saying? Like we have these expectations for Adam Troutman, but you got to go out there and prove it. You got to go out there and prove that you can ball. Like we seen like little nuggets of hope. You know what I'm saying? As a member of the Who That Nation about Adam Troutman becoming a better blocker. Like he was a guy that in college he was a good pass catcher. So if you combine like the blocking ability with his pass catching, you got yourself something special. So it has to translate to the field, though. We can't forget about that. Do you think Jameis and Mike Thomas going to jail? Yeah. I mean, I kind of mentioned that, Cap. I just feel like Michael Thomas can succeed in any offense. The way that he plays. I think that he can be. To me, he reminds me a lot of Jarvis Landry. Like Jarvis Landry, I just feel like he goes to the Miami Dolphins, he performs well. He goes to the Cleveland Browns and he performs well. That's who he reminds me of. Like Jarvis Landry is a person I feel like you can fit in any offense and he still can perform. So that I don't feel like the quarterback or anything, would have anything to do. Michael Thomas is gonna get his numbers. He just built that way. Some guys, they have like certain skill sets that they have to have a certain type of quarterback in order to get there. Like somebody like a Traquan, right? I feel like in order for Traquan to really jump off the screen and jump off the page when it comes to analytics, he needs a guy like Jameis because Jameis kind of plays into his strengths. With Michael Thomas, I mean, you can put Michael Thomas in New York. You know what I'm saying? For the Jets or for the Giants. You can put him in Buffalo, you can put him in Minnesota, you can put him in Miami, you can put him anywhere, and he's still gonna put up big numbers because that's just how he built. So I don't think it matters when it comes to quarterback with Michael Thomas. I think Michael Thomas is going to be successful regardless. He's one of those guys to me that is just inevitable. I think Callaway and Smith are going to have a breakout year now that they'll have a quarterback who can get the ball down the field. I think Jameis will spread it out. He had 2 or 3 good receivers in Tampa Bay and didn't zone in on only one. Yeah, that's true, man. I think Mike Evans and Chris Godwin had 1,000 yards, and that's something people not understanding too. Angela, that's a good point. But when it comes to Callaway and Smith, I don't want people to get the misconception that I just feel like these guys are just deep ball guys because they're not. Like when you look at somebody like Callaway had a big game finding soft spots in the zone against the Detroit Lions before he was injured in that game. I mean, he played extremely well. I just think that the combination of what they were doing with Drew Brees, like, learning how to be better route runners, and then you add that down the field dynamic, it will help them, jump off the page a little bit more. Like it's like, okay, it's like this, right? It's like a person that comes into the league. Like I look at somebody, let's look at Vince Carter, right? Vince Carter, when he came into the league in the late 90s, he was a guy that just, can jump out the gym, right? He was a guy that can do all these fancy dunks, greatest dunk of all time, in my opinion. But as Vince Carter got older, you know what I'm saying, he had to, account on the 3-point shot. I think maybe when he went to the Nets, he ended up getting hurt, couldn't jump as high as he once did, so he developed a 3-point shot. And that 3-point shot kept him in the league. I feel like these guys, they do so many other little things, right, that we know they can do. Like we know Traquan, he can go on a slide, he can run on the outside, but now you're adding something to him to make him a little bit more dynamic, to keep him around and to make him stand out. That's the way I look at it. These guys are already talented, but there's certain things that they possess. There's certain things that they do. It's about thundering out here. But yeah, there's certain things that they possess. And I just think that me personally, I just think that it's gonna help them become better players. That's my humble opinion. Today is Sunday, right? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Sometimes I gotta think about it. And when you older, man, when you just work every day, like you be like, what today is? What the date? When you're in school and stuff like that, you're looking forward to school being out or vacation, you remember the dates. I can't wait for Sean to be downplaying this quarterback battle in camp. He gonna do that. 3 weeks in training camp is almost here. Soon as you know, it's football is back. Yeah, proud of your big dog. Beautiful house, bro. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. It's a blessing. They just have a problem with him because he's black. I don't think that, man. I don't. Not some people do. You know what I'm saying? Some fans do. They can't get away from that whole stereotype about black quarterbacks not being smart and all that. But you have some guys that really believe what the media has been saying about Jameis Winston all this time. You know what I'm saying? But that's on them. But the same people that's out here with all these different opinions and talking about, oh, he can't play, he can't ball out, gonna be the same people if this dude go out here and be successful, gonna be the main ones behind the jersey and acting as if they ain't said and trying to go to social media trying to delete the comments so nobody won't find them receipts. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not going to sit out here and judge somebody based on what I have not seen him do in another uniform. Like, we don't know the situation. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what's going on. We don't know what the situation is. We don't know what the problem is. Sometimes, like, teams aren't good fit for players and they go somewhere else and they play much better. So we can't do that. And I don't think anybody should, but that's what people do. Hey, TJ, who should we pick up in free agency? Uh, when it comes close to it, I'm more concerned about somebody like a linebacker, maybe getting somebody like KJ Wright if you can get him at the right price. Somebody like Richard Sherman is a name that's coming up, you know what I'm saying, quite often. He would be another good pick for us. Quan Alexander, if we can get him at the right price, he has the chemistry with the team. Who knows? The Saints keep a good atmosphere, like keep a good atmosphere and keep guys around and stuff like that. So, like guys like that, guys like that. Hey TJ, a lot of people down here in New Orleans say the same thing about Jameis. They're concerned about the short pass game. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we all fall in love with how deep he can throw the ball down the field, but you can't throw the ball deep down the field every play. Like I said, that's what people are so desperate for the deep ball that if a person can throw the deep ball, that's all that matters. Like, that's all we've been judging these two guys on, honestly. Man, Taysom deep ball, Jameis deep ball, Jameis deep ball better than Taysom deep ball. That's all we've been doing. But what about short yardage? What about checking it down? What about those out routes? What about those third and fours? Like, are you going to be able to get that ball to that receiver in short yardage situations? Are you going to be able to perform in a red zone? Hey, we about to wrap it up, man. I'm sitting out here and it's thundering out here, man. So I'm about to go in the house. So yeah, man. But in all seriousness, man, like it's one of those situations that like you got to be able to make all the throws. Got to be able to make all the throws, and that's very very important. Let's see. Hey, TJ, thoughts on Caden Ellis? I had high expectations for that guy. Should I lower my expectations on him? Nah, not really, man. I think he's a good special teams guy. I think that works out for him. On special teams, I think that's just probably going to be something that he's going to have to do in order for him to stay in the league or stay on the team. He's probably going to be that special teams guy, rotation guy. You know what I'm saying? If something goes down, a guy that's familiar with the offense. I mean, familiar with the defense. Rather, he can come in during emergency situations if somebody gets hurt. Good morning, TJ and my Who That Nation family. I'm going to let me see. It's going to be a great season. Yeah, I hope so, man. I hope so. I'm going to go to the front of the house. When it rain, come out here. But seriously, man, let's see. In your honest opinion, do you think Jameis is a top 20 at best in the league right now, starting quarterback? Um, top top 20? Yeah, that's easy. Yeah, I think he's top 20 quarterback. I don't think he falls into that cat. I don't feel like he's a bad player or anything like that. I think I'll give him top 20. Give him top 20. Let's see. You can't knock Jameis Winston until you see what he does. I agree with that. I'm so ready to see what our guys are going to look like. I think Winston is going to shock a whole lot of people. We hope so. As Saints fans, I know we do. I'm ready to see what he can do. The kid like she's shooting a shot, talking about she's single. Morning, TJ. What do you think about DJ Shark? Let's see, he was to leave Jacksonville. Yeah, I like him, man. I think he makes a lot of like circus acrobat catches. So I think in the right situation, he might be able to, be able to put up some numbers. What up, TJ? That thunder and the lightning shook up you up, TJ. Now I was just looking around like, man, what the heck going on here? Let me see, top 15 till he played. Yeah, I think Jameis is going to be a lot better than people giving him credit for. I think he's gonna be a lot better than people giving him credit for on the real. So I'm trying to make sure I don't miss nobody comments. Michael Thomas gonna have a bounce back year. PFF disrespecting him, saying he's not a top 5 because of last year's. Christian McCaffrey was hurt, and they still saying he's a top 5 running back. Well, let them talk. Let them say whatever they want to say. I don't care. And you shouldn't care either. As long as he go out there and perform, seems like he's taking it upon himself. And he really does pay attention to those analytics. He's been like that since his rookie season, looking at those analytics and stuff like that. So, that I feel like that he's a guy, he has to have that chip on his shoulder in order for him to like really perform. And he has that chip on his shoulder. It's easy, what I'm saying, to go out there and be lackadaisical and lazy when everybody's singing your praises. But what happens when you have to overcome some type of adversity? I'm interested to see that. I'm interested to see that. Y'all can see out here, man. Look, they got the flags and stuff like that flying. Let's see. People are going to throw dirt on us when we when we die, and they're going to throw dirt on us when we're alive. Let people talk, man. That's deep right there, Rudy. Right? That's deep. That's deep. You know? Yeah, they're going. That's definitely the truth. They're going to throw dirt on you when it's all said and done, and people are gonna throw dirt on you. You know, regardless, you know what I'm saying? If you're out here doing all the right things, people are going to throw dirt on you, wondering why you're doing all these right things. If you're doing all the wrong, you know what I'm saying? If you're doing wrong things, people still going to throw dirt on you. Like that's just the way that it is. But you got to be able to shake that stuff off in order for you to, you know, become better. And sometimes, you need a little bit of a chip on your shoulder. Like me, like I think I perform better like when it comes to adversity. Sometimes I can get a little bit laid back, lackadaisical, if you will. But I try to fight through that. You know what I'm saying? Like I try to think about the things that motivate me. That's my main focus. Let's see. I'm single too, Nikayla Collins. Hey, your boys up here shooting y'all shot. Matchmaker here on the State of Saints podcast. Not only can you get Saints information, but you might be able to get a date. Geez, people, Brees is gone. He's the past. Time to look forward to the future. Well, I don't think anybody is here around here still talking about Drew Brees. I think people already understand that. I don't know if you just got here and but I mean, it was just mostly about Sean Payton's comments about Drew Brees leaving a lasting legacy behind it and the expectations that these future quarterbacks have to live up to. It's not so much about us, oh, we miss, Drew Brees so much and all that kind of stuff. I mean, look, time goes on. It's time for us to move on. We know that Drew is working with NBC now, calling Notre Dame and Football Night in America in the studio. So we already know that stuff, man. Love the way you're motivating people with the workout, TJ. I don't have social media, but this is what I do work out. I'm willing to help motivate people too. Well, I mean, we can motivate people in so many different ways, man. I mean, a lot of people, they work out, they may take pictures, or, might do a little collage of their progress. They might say some motivational things. I mean, honestly, it wasn't so much about me, trying to motivate anybody. I just thought that, I was coming back from the amenity center, which was about a half a mile, and I was like, well, since I'm walking, I might as well, talk to some members of the Who Dat Nation. So got that good workout in, man, and just enjoying the day, despite the fact that it's coming down out here. It is having a pretty good day. I completed my 100 burpees for 30 days. That's good, man. Congratulations to you, Rudy. I'm proud of you. And I remember you talking about that a couple weeks ago, man. So it's good to know that you stayed consistent with that and it worked out for you, man. I'm proud of you. TJ, you then took your shirt off. Now you're being a love matchmaker. The man with plenty of hash. Nah, man. I mean, look, if you can find love in the chat, find love in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, there's enough love for everybody. There's love for the saints. There's love for human beings here. So if you see somebody that you like up in that thing, go ahead and shoot your shot. You know what I'm saying? Be Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying? In this case, be Devin Booker. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and shoot your shot. Hopefully it work out for you. TJ sounds like you're out on the town. Nah, Jerry, actually I'm standing in front of my house, man. Luckily I walked back to at the time I did. Now it's coming down out here. So I got back to the house just in time, man. Just in time to stand out here on the porch. You know what I'm saying? And talk a little bit about the Saints. Let's see. I know, let me see. I know we're going to make the playoffs, but if we don't make it to the Super Bowl this year, we have a shot next year, and I really think we can get there again. Yeah, I do too. Playoffs is. I feel like the playoffs is attainable because of what the Saints actually have on their team. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I feel like it's attainable, man, making the playoffs. I think the playoffs is not so hard to do. I think the Saints have good leadership. I think the Saints have good players on their team. I really do. Let's see. Knock on my door. I left my keys in the house. Says, "Hey TJ, diehard Who that fan from Puerto Rico here. Hope you have an awesome time in our beautiful island." Well, Art, I appreciate that. Wow, Puerto Rico. That's pretty great right there, man. Shouts out to you, Art. Yeah, definitely looking forward to you know, going there, checking it out. Let's see. Why are they so mad about my Saints? I have no idea. I, I have no idea why they're so upset about that. Want to make sure I ain't missing nobody. Winston will win comeback player of the year. That would be great if he did. Wouldn't be mad at that. Suns up 2-0 and it's not over. Who are you taking, TJ? I'm for Monty Williams and Chris Paul. Hold on, man. Let me open up my garage because my wife is not answering the door. Let's see. Open my garage really quick. All right, sorry about that, folks. I had to open up my garage because my wife isn't answering the door. All right, we back, man. Sorry about that. I had to open up my garage because my wife didn't answer the front door. But let's see. It's okay for them to throw dirt on us. By the way, we're better when they sleep on us. That's a good point. But I think our offense will get back to being explosive. They were explosive last year, man. To be honest with you, it wasn't like saying like the Saints weren't putting up no points. I think that the downfield threat is what a lot of people are thinking about. You know what I'm saying? They're thinking about the fact that we didn't have a lot of down the field passes. That was the issue. It's okay for them to throw dirt on us. I already read this. Have a beautiful house, my brother. I appreciate that, Wallace. Thank you, man. Shoot. I thought my wife would answer the door for me. I guess she's upstairs and sometimes can't hear the doorbell when you're upstairs. But let's see. I hope the defense brings the wood this year. They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to bring the wood. They're gonna have to bring the wood. They're gonna have to make sure that what I'm saying they'll be able to complement, if not be better, than the offense. Because to me, the defense should carry the team because of the leadership that they have on the team, the veterans that they have on the team. They should be the ones that's carrying this team. It's a lot of young players that are out here, that have to learn and develop on offense. So I just think that's something that they're going to have to work on. Like they're going to have to be better than the offense starting off the 2021 year. I almost gave up on working out because I was doing too much, but I decided to keep things simple for the next 30 days. I would do 50 push-ups and 50 crunches. That's what people do. Like, that's one of the main reasons why people kind of flake out is the fact that, God dog, let me move away from this. Anyway, um, people flake out when it comes to working out, because they go too hard. They try to build up muscle and they don't understand that Rome wasn't built in a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, it took time in order for it to, get there. I know you probably did hear that thunder. But anyway, you gotta pace yourself, you gotta pace yourself, you gotta focus on, what I'm saying, just taking it one day at a time. Because once you burn out, like, then you're gonna, stop going. And I tell people all the time, like, when you're working out, it's best for you to keep doing it. Because if you start missing a day, you're gonna start missing 2 days and 3 days. So if you got like a little streak going, it's best for you to do something. Like, even if it's something at the house, like, make sure that you're doing something continuously if you can't get to the gym. Let me see. I think Marcus Williams gonna make the Pro Bowl this year. Marcus Williams had a better season than Jamal Adams last year. Yeah, Jamal Adams kind of struggles in coverage, man, but he's really good when it comes to tackling. Let's see. As long as the wide receivers catch the ball, Jameis Winston will be all right. The best revenge anyone can have is proving people wrong. Yeah, I know y'all heard that thunder out there. That was loud, wasn't it? All my workouts is home base. Uh, don't have a vehicle. That's fine, man. That's some great workouts you can do at home. If you don't have the equipment and stuff like that, there's still exercise you can do at home. The fact that Jameis got a rocket for an arm will open up the field for AK. I believe he rushes for 1,000 yards this year. Me too. I mean, he was close to rushing for 1,000 last year. He just ended up getting COVID. My two words for working out is motivation and dedication. Gotta have that. Yeah, I mean, and the thing, and what I really feel like helps a lot of people is don't look at the other person. Don't look at what the other person is doing. Like, focus on you. So many people focus on what other people look like. They go to the gym and they do what I like to call ego lift. You know what I'm saying? Like, they do ego lifting. Like, you see somebody over there, bench pressing about 250, 275, and you over there probably benching 245 on each side, plus the bar, so you about at 110. So you looking at them and you thinking, oh, well, I need to do a little bit more than them. I need to be like them. No, man. Rome wasn't built in a day. Pace yourself, and you'll get the results. Set yourself a goal, right? A attainable goal. Set yourself an attainable goal that you feel like works for you, and then do it. It's just as simple as that. Like, don't worry about nobody else. Run your own race at your own pace. And that's the way that you're not going to quit. You're not going to give up. And don't look at those people as, as a form of ego, but as motivation. Like, man, what I'm saying? Even, what I'm saying? Talk to them. Like, man, how did you start out? I've been at the gym. It's so many people in the gym that are nice enough to talk to you about, what they do, the type of exercise regimen, the eating habits to help you. But never going to the gym looking at what somebody else is doing and trying to mirror what they're doing, because you don't know how long they've been in there. Somebody's different from another. And some people, these people worked hard in order for them to start to get to that particular point. So don't ever go in that ego lifting, and don't get so discouraged. Like, just continuously pace yourself. What's good? Whoa. I played Muhammad Ali on Godfather of Harlem. Your pod is dope. I saw we go get. I think we're gonna get Quan Sherman and another receiver, and we good. Maybe another linebacker too. Man, I appreciate that, man, and shouts out to Dietrich Augustine, man, because Derek Augustine, man, I actually watched that show, man. I'm a huge fan of the Godfather of Harlem, man. Man, shouts out to you. You know the work that you're doing and stuff like that on the show. Definitely, man, definitely a big fan of that, man. I can't wait for y'all to come back. I think the show coming back in August. I watched every episode of that, man. So shouts out to you, man. Appreciate you for being here. Thank you. Let's see. Facts, TJ. Real talk. Yep, I tell people all the time. I've been working out 20 years. This definition didn't come overnight. Yeah, you got to work towards it, man. You got to work. You got to work towards it. Yeah, you definitely got to work towards it, man. And you can't like, man, you just can't give up. Like focus on a goal, like whatever that goal may be. But just pace yourself, you know, and don't give up. I think we have the talent to get to the Super Bowl. Most Saints fans would say that there is a sense of urgency at this point, based on the last few years and all three of our rivals getting there. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. And that's a strong point. And it is also a frustrating point, right? We're frustrated because we know for a fact that we, as fans, we feel that we were better than Tampa. We beat them twice in the regular season. Didn't beat them in the postseason, but in our heart of hearts, we know for a fact that we were the better team. And it's hard, it's a tough pill to swallow when you know that you had what it takes to beat that football team and didn't beat them when it mattered. You know, it is frustrating. I'm not gonna lie about that. I tell people 25-pound dumbbells, push-ups, and squats are amazing workouts at home. Yeah, I mean, like I said, just start slow. You know, just start slow. Make sure that you get your stretching in, and just stay consistent. Godfather of Harlem is dope. You're portraying the great Muhammad Ali was amazing. Keep striving for greatness. Yeah, I mean, man, I watched that show, man. I watched every single episode, man. Huge fan of that show. I like the relationship between Bumpy Johnson and Malcolm X on the show. You know, I mean, I think it's good storytelling. You know, I mean, it's a really good show. I can't wait for it to come back, man. Forrest Whitaker does an outstanding job. And actually, man, one of my homeboys, man, actually, one of my homeboys I went to college with, he's actually on the show, man. Tremaine, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's Tremel, you know what I'm saying? Like he's on the show, like Tremel, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, I'll never forget this cat. Like this real talk right here, Tremel Tillman. Tremel Tillman, he played like the record producer. He owned the record store on the Godfather in Harlem. When I was in my sophomore year, it was right after Hurricane Katrina, and I had an English class with Tremel, and I remember like this was before I had a car, and basically all I had was like the stuff that I had because due to Hurricane Katrina. I probably moved to Jackson State campus like the week after Hurricane Katrina, and I remember having a class with him, and my teacher told us about, told the students about my story. And I remember after class, Jamel came up to me and he was like, man, if you need anything, he said, if you need anything, you need a ride to the store, or, you know what I'm saying, anything that you need, just let me know. And, that always stuck with me, man. So Jamel, man, is a solid dude right there, man. And I'm proud of the success he had, man. Him being on Godfather, Harlem, and watching him, man, it's pretty cool, man, especially for a person that deserves, what they're getting. Good solid dude, man. Uh, it's a rainy day here in NOLA too, TJ. Yeah, I mean the rain just started out here. Hey TJ, you look like you're about 240. I'm 6 feet, 225. No, I'm not 240. I'm 218. I'm 6 feet, 218 pounds, man. If I eat a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, I might get up to 220. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man, I'm 218, man. I'm 218. It's hard to beat Tom Brady 3 times. Eventually, he's going to get one, but that's ancient history. New year, new season. I agree. I agree with that. I agree. I mean, throw that all out your mind. It's a brand new year. You can make the argument that we probably could have won the Super Bowl in 2017, 2018, and last year. No, I wouldn't say 2017. I don't know if we would have beat the Eagles, but I definitely feel like we should have won in 2018. You know, last year, I don't know. Last year, I don't know. They were a little bit up and down. They 3 rings in 4 years. That's a dynasty right there. And Drew retires with 4 rings. I was 365 now, and I'm 331. Okay, this is a sprint, not a race. You just motivated me to get back to work out. Hurry up and buy, man. I'm glad to hear that. And Rome wasn't built in a day. Remember that. If you don't remember nothing from this podcast, this video that I'm giving you right now, remember Rome wasn't built in a day. I'm glad I started working out and I lost 5 pounds. It's good to know, Rudy. I mean, you lost 5 pounds today. You lose another 5, tomorrow, if you constantly just keep working out, and just appreciate the steps that you make. I remember, and I don't want to sound hypocritical because there was a point in time, and I'm going to be real with y'all. There was a point in time that I wasn't heeding this advice. I didn't live by that moniker of Rome wasn't built in a day. I remember when I was like putting out podcasts, putting out content when it first came out, and I was like, man, this is good content. And I would just get so frustrated that I wasn't getting the results that I wanted. But it wasn't until like I started appreciating the baby steps in my life. When I started appreciating like moments like that paved the way, like for me to be able to interview such great talent, whether it come from reporters or football players. I look back and I was like, dang, you know what I'm saying? I started to really truly appreciate like the moments in which I was just so frustrated and felt like I never was gonna get over that hump. So if you want some real true advice, appreciate the baby steps in your life. Appreciate those small moments in your life that paved the way that help you to get to where you need to be. We take those moments for granted all the time, man. I think about this sometimes too. You know, when my son comes, he likes to lay on me and stuff like that when I'm watching TV. We have a whole couch, but he comes lay on me and stuff like that. And sometimes like, man, why you just don't sit next to me? Why don't you just sit next to daddy sometimes? Like when they be all over you. But I think about that. There's gonna come a time when he's like 10, 11, 12 years old when he probably ain't gonna even want to hang out with me no more. You know what I'm saying? Like daddy ain't gonna be the most interesting thing in the world. So for those moments right there, you have to cherish those moments, man, and appreciate those moments while they're here. You got to appreciate the baby steps in your life, folks. You got to appreciate those moments that made you who you are. From you working out, starting out at a certain weight to getting your body into impeccable shape. From you starting out at a job or starting out at a business where everybody probably wasn't eating there or probably wasn't investing there or probably wasn't giving you the money to invest there. Eventually, when you get to those moments in your life, you're going to be like, man, I remember when these things wasn't happening for me. You want to know the definition of humility and how you stay humble is how you remember those moments when nobody knew who you were and nobody was saying your name and nobody was appreciating your talents. Remember that, folks. Appreciate the small moments in your life, the small moments, those moments that got you to where you need to be. They're going to seem like ancient history if you don't appreciate those moments. And then when you get to where you need to be, if you're not careful, you're not going to learn how to appreciate the people around you that help you. Because I think that's something that's missing in the world of media and some of these podcasters that elevate their game. They forget about the people that supported them and helped them to get where they need to be. And now they feel like, oh, I got a platform now. I'm talking to this person and that person. It makes me special. No, I'll tell anybody what makes the State of the Saints podcast special, what makes TJ Jones special is you. And I will continue to tell you that. And I have no problem with it. Remember what makes you special. Remember those days where you were trying to pave the way to make yourself special. That's the advice I have for y'all today. Bishop Bowinkle, thank you very much for the $2. Says, where my royalties food? Rest in peace. Rest in peace to Bishop Bowinkle. Don't have any royalties, but I'm keeping your name on, man. I'm keeping your name moving on. You know what I'm saying? So people will never forget you as long as the State of Saints podcast on here, and as long as people give me a reason to use, the hell to the nah. You know what I'm saying? As long as they continue to give me reasons to do this.
Hell no, to the no, 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 hell to the no.
Everyone definitely needs to celebrate the small victories. Definitely. You gotta appreciate those small victories. Special shout out to my big brother EJ Jones, who's in the chat. I see. Hey TJ, I tell people about the loss of Malcolm Brown. I know we will be okay, but some people don't know how important he was. Yeah, it's because people don't really pay attention to people that do their jobs well. It's just that simple. People don't pay attention to the guys that do their job. It's the reason why Ryan Ramchick gets snubbed a lot. That's the reason why Demario Davis gets snubbed. When a guy does his job well and they're solid and you don't really hear their name that much, people have a tendency of taking them for granted. And that's the same way, with Malcolm Brown. He was so good at stopping a run, some people didn't pay attention to it. And it also failed because people were talking about this 2-year streak of the Saints not allowing a 100-yard rusher. So he wasn't on the team that whole entire time. So people have a tendency of feeling like, well, it's the team, you know what I'm saying? And they're not thinking about the players that helped them sustain their record. Hopefully this year the tailgating will be back, fans back in the dome. I want to go to at least 2 or 3 games this year. Last year sucked with the pandemic, no fans in the stands. Chris, I think everything is going to come back. I think everything is going to come back. I think they're going to have tailgating as well as fans in the stands. So that's exciting. It's exciting to get back to normal, man. I went to one of my first, I guess, first events. Well, we took Paxton yesterday to the circus, and I'm just seeing a lot of people all around there cheering and all that kind of stuff, watching the circus. It was a beautiful thing to see, like seeing people around and having a good time and clapping and honestly, me and my wife had to think about it. Like it was the first time we ever really brought Paxton into a actual event since he's been born. This is like the first time he actually had real interaction around a crowd of people. So it was interesting to see him in that type of environment, man. And hopefully we can get back to more of these environments where, it won't seem so unfamiliar to some of us. Let's see. Hurry up and buy says preach. Damien says that true. My son just turned 18, and at that age, they're doing their own thing. Yep. That's why I say, man, I appreciate that. Like I had to think about it. I'm like, it's gonna come a time with a little boy. Y'all probably ain't gonna see him, pop up on camera when I'm doing a show at the house and he home. It's gonna come a time when, I'm like, man, you want to hang out? Nah, Dad, I'm good. I don't want to play the video game. Or, Dad, I got a date. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to come that moment. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate the time I have where my little guy looks at me as like the greatest thing in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, I appreciate that. This show is so underrated. Damn, keep spitting that real. Look, I don't think the show to me is underrated. As long as you all are getting a great fan experience, life experience, what I'm saying, good information about the New Orleans Saints, I feel like this show is overrated. I don't pay attention to that. I think that eventually the show is going to get to where it needs to be. And what I'm saying, I appreciate the community that we built here. I don't really, I don't know. Not at this stage in my life. I think that the show is doing just fine. I think it's going to get better. I think eventually, more people going to recognize it. But I like what we're doing here. Preach, I'm hitting these weights right now. And that's what I'm talking about, man. Keep that motivation going. Smith becoming a star this season. Mike, we'll see. We'll see. Let's see how those highlights translate to the field. Hey, TJ, at your size, you can go play safety or corner for the Saints. Yeah, man. I mean, look, I wasn't really that good at. I mean, I think I could have played safety, but I was really good at receiver. I ain't trying to brag, but I had really good hands. I was pretty good at receiver. Let's see, Rome. Thank you very much for the $2. Says I wasn't built in a day. That's definitely true, Rome. You definitely weren't built in a day. It took some years, you know what I'm saying, for you to get there. When I started out, I was 255 at 5'9". Well, right now, you're 250, and I mean, you're on your way down, man. Keep up that good work, Rudy. Was it good run defense before Malcolm Brown came to the Saints? Yeah, it was, but you have to sustain that, though. Like you got to be able to sustain that success. And when you have guys like Tyler Davidson leave, and then you bring in guys like Malcolm Brown, you hope that guys like that will sustain that type of success. So I don't want to poo-poo on him. I mean, he's a guy that's really necessary for this team. Yeah, it's good to get life back to normal. Yeah, that's definitely true. Good to go places and have a good time. Yeah, Dennis Allen has had that defense playing at an elite level these last few years. Yeah, I mean he's gotten better as a defensive coordinator. I know it's a couple times, including myself, where people were just like, "Man, he need to get up out of here." So I'm glad, I mean, he made a believer out of me. I will be the first to say that. I'm not going to pretend like I was just a Dennis Allen fan. And I'm still not going to pretend like I'm just all in his corner. I still feel like this defense has some work to do, especially when it comes to starting fast. Like, this defense started way too slow earlier in the season. This is an opportunity for you to really come out the gates running and get your stride. The Saints can't afford to come out there stagnant this season. TJ, you look kind of buff. I got to step my game up. Man, look, I do a lot of like upper body exercises, chest and all that kind of stuff. And, I do a little dumbbell at the house. Like I said, man, I'm just trying to work on my cardio. That's what I'm trying to do. Work on my ab work and build up my endurance. That's what I'm really focused on. I have been extra lucky. My son is 14, has lots same hobbies as me, but I found doing his hobbies with him as well keeps us closer. Yeah, that's true. Like that's one of the main reasons why I try to hold on to my love for wrestling because I just want to have something I feel like I can do with him. And I'm slowly noticing like he'll stay a little bit longer. Like when I'm watching wrestling or something like that, he'll look at the TV and I'll probably like joke around with him, pick him up, what I'm saying, like, kind of light slap him on the bed and act like I'm pinning him and stuff like that. And I'll say like 1, 2, and I'll make him kick out. So I thought it was funny when I was actually listening to the commentary. He was sitting on my lap, and it was honestly, it was recently. It was Seth Rollins. Some of y'all probably know what I'm talking about. Seth Rollins versus Cesaro this past week. And Cesaro pinned Seth Rollins. The commentator said, no, he kicked out. And he kind of smiled or whatever. He was like, oh, that's where that come from. So that's something that, I feel like will be something that we can do together. I feel like as he get older, he'll probably have more of an appreciation for sports. I take him outside, throw the football around and all that kind of stuff. I try to keep him I try to like, do little things with them. I don't want to be one of those parents that, want to live vicariously through their kids. I feel like that ain't right. But I do want, to introduce him to certain things. What about Shy Tuttle that season against the Falcons that stiff armed Matt Ryan? Yeah, that was legendary right there. I don't care what Shy Tuttle go, he gonna forever be remembered for that. Yeah, the lefties have milked the virus for all it's worth. They can shut stuff down no more. Well, I don't want to get into political things, Josh. Look, I mean, people have their reservations about that. Um, Me personally, I'm just glad that everything is back to normal. I just feel like when we start to like, man, that's why I just cut the TV off when it comes to political stuff. Because I feel like that's the kind of stuff that divides us. Conversations that we have between one another always lead to this opinion about what we really feel about one another, not really getting to know each other. And I just feel like we'll just be buying into what everybody want us to do. They want to keep us divided and separated and don't want us to be able to like each other, don't want us to understand each other, want us to be afraid to talk to each other. So I cut the TV off, man. I'd rather focus on some positive things in my life, like my family, like talking to you all and like just building relationships, man, and building friendships. Like we spent like a year and a half being mad at each other. I want everybody to pay attention to that. We spent like a year and a half, and if you want to add like this whole Trump administration, like we spent like 4 years being mad at each other. But what have we really accomplished, right? What have we really accomplished between one another? Nothing, except a bunch of hatred towards one another and being afraid to have conversations with one another to talk about the real problems. So me, I'm just taking it on myself, man, to relinquish myself from that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to allow left or right to dictate the way that I feel about a person. If I introduce myself to a person and I don't get positive vibes, then I know what to do. If I introduce myself to a person and we talk and we start vibing and we become friends, then I know what to do. But I'm not gonna allow myself to just allow just this white noise to cloud my judgment about how good and how great people can be. I'm just not. I'm not gonna do it, man. I'm not gonna do it. WWE is going to have live fans back next week. Yeah, I know that's exciting, right? Um, let's see now, big brother. What you're doing is making me look bad. My wife here talking like, why don't you do more? Nah, my bad, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, man. I apologize. Tyree says, I think P. Warner can be better than Quan. He stayed healthy. The last time P. Warner got hurt in high school, he plays every single snap in college at Ohio State. He really good. Reminds me of Kiko Alonso. Yeah, that's this whole piece of Kiko Alonso without the injuries, right, Tyrese? Let's see. Nikela says, hey, give him a shout out to Kai the Great. Let's see. To keep it simple, if a person in power does good, praise the act. If they do bad, shun it, no matter what party. I agree. You know what I'm saying? I agree. I don't want people to turn a blind eye to anything. Wrong is wrong. No matter how you want to spin it, no matter how you want to spin, no matter how you want to slice it, cut it, divide it, it's wrong. And like what I said, I don't fall in love with these whole party allegiance and stuff like that. I don't. I don't base my judgment on like party allegiance. I just look at like who I feel like is the better person. But I definitely don't want to fall into that trap, man. Like I said, for a year and a half, we've been really going at each other about this whole virus thing and being inside and getting cabin fever only amplified our anger. And I don't feel like you can base your judgment on a person's political affiliation. You can't say a person is a racist based on their political affiliation. You can't say a person is racist because they have a certain ideal about something. You can't say a person, oh, you support BLM or whatever like that because you feel like certain things need to change. And that's the thing. Like we so quick to put labels on one another instead of talking to one another and listening to one another. Let's get back to that, man. Let's get back to that. I remember, I'm a big historian. Like I love history, right? I remember on like Meet the Press, like yeah, like Martin Luther King and had another guy who was what I'm saying, who believed in segregation, but they sat there and talked to each other, and they didn't agree with each other. But they were able to sit down and talk to each other. They'll hear each other out. Hear another person. And I also think about back in Nashville, man. I'll move on from this. In Nashville, you had Diane Nash. She was one of the organizers. I want to say of CORE, if I'm not mistaken, CORE or SNCC. But they end up like boycotting like the stores. Like they was asking African Americans to boycott the stores because they were trying to integrate the stores downtown. And the mayor of Nashville was, a person that was a segregationist. Like he believed in segregation. But one day she actually went to him and said, "Do you feel like it's morally right for these stores to be segregated?" He said morally, and he said no. And from that conversation, they end up like having conversations about integrating these stores. And I was like, that's something that's missing. Like, we're so quick to judge people. We're so quick not to listen. We're so stubborn and so stone faced when it comes to our decision makings and our values that we don't pay attention to what people are saying to us. Because we're so quick to, for those person to like hurry up and finish talking so we can get our word in to sound intelligent. I mean, let's start getting back to having conversations with each other. And if we don't agree, then fine. That's okay. But at least we learn about one another in the process. Don't be trying that Roman Reigns stuff on me, Daddy. Nah, we ain't doing no spears and nothing like that, man. Probably do a little, a little baby power bomb or something like that, or little stuff like that. But he enjoy it, man. Every time I give him a little small, little light power bomb, he running back trying to want me to do it again. TJ, is Akeem Hicks available so the Saints can pick him up on defensive tackle? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's available now. I have to check back, but he would be a good fit for him. He would be a good fit. Are there any updates on Lattimore? No, 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 no. But the one thing that concerns me is I want to say it's the player for the Raiders, if I'm not mistaken. They found the Uzi in his SUV. And I was thinking, like, maybe this dude flew under the radar, maybe the NFL forgot. So now this fool from the Raiders found the Uzi and this stuff, and finding a gun. What you think they're gonna make the NFL think about? Well, we do have to talk about Marshawn Lattimore, don't we? So, yeah, Marshawn, you almost got through, man. You almost got through until homeboy got called the Uzi. Low key think Lattimore might end up playing week 1. I want to see him go against Devontae Adams. Hey, I would have. He probably would have got away with it, man. I'm telling you, if that dude they ain't find that Uzi in that Raiders player's SUV, man, he probably would have got away with it, man. But oh my goodness, man, now they're gonna be talking about guns and they're gonna make them think about what Lattimore did. You almost got away with it, Sean. You almost got away with it. Don't do me like that, big brother. She laughing over here in New Orleans, Louisiana. Look, back to the working out thing, man. Look, it just takes a made up mind and one day at a time. That's all it takes. Let's see. Hey, TJ, your thoughts on USA basketball losing to Nigeria last night? Arrogance, straight up arrogance. When you think that you better than everybody, you're told that you're the best player in the world. You're hearing it on television. You're the best player on the planet. They go there with this basketball arrogance, and hopefully this woke them up. It was an exhibition game, right? It didn't really count for anything. So hopefully this can wake them up and realize, man, that these teams want to beat these guys. They want legitimacy. They want to be able to take down the United States basketball team. So hopefully this can wake these guys up, make them better, help them understand that these guys aren't going to just hand them the gold medal. They're going to have to take it. So it's for them to learn now, then to realize that later on and be looking like that team in the early 2000s that were just absolutely just disgraceful. Lattimore stuff might drag out like Zeke situation. I hope not, man. Just go ahead and do what they have to do to him and keep it moving. TJ, I know that you got connections inside the dome. You got any word on who the Saints might be thinking about to hire as their fart coach? Nah, I don't know who they got, but if I have a vote, I'm going with IB ripping them. For those that are part of the podcast or the video right now, if you can go ahead and hit the like button, man, let everybody know that you're enjoying the content right now. I will appreciate that. And thank you for those that are donated also. Tyrone says, what up, TJ? Brandon says, hopefully the defense keep playing at an elite level. I agree. What's up with these millionaires, bro? Stay in your millionaire lane. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. I really don't. I don't know from what particular standpoint. Moosey might have to elaborate a little bit. I don't know if you're talking about it from the grounds of their arrogance, or you're just talking about some of the decisions that they're making. I'm not sure. After what he said about the Saints, bring back Cook. Look, man, I mean, he wasn't happy. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't happy. And from what I hear about the locker room, he was justified. But I mean, you can't just be going around here talking about Sean Payton like that. Think you're gonna get on the team though. They won at full strength yesterday. Team USA may going gold. I mean, I think they're gonna go gold, but man, you gotta wake up, man. You gotta wake up. Like these teams want to beat them. I heard they narrowed it down to Marty Stinkenheimer and Runchboat Ryan. Runchy Boat Ryan. Well, Marty was Stinkenheimer. I'm not sure, you know. Rest in peace to Marty Schottenheimer and Runchy Boat Ryan. I think he might have a job out there in Washington. I'm not sure. Gun charges. Oh yeah, man. I don't know, man. I guess they feel like they have to protect themselves, but you know, they feel like guys want to take what they have. But here's my opinion. Here's my opinion, folks. I'm just being real. If you gotta go anywhere and have to carry a Uzi, maybe you shouldn't go to those places. And I get it, man. I get it. I understand. A lot of these guys come from like poverty-stricken areas. They come from what a lot of people may consider the hood. And I get it. Like when you become a millionaire, you still want to stay true to the streets. You still want to show people that you still belong and you still part of the streets and you still from your area. But here's the reality. There's some people out there that are happy you made it. And then there's other people out there that are jealous that you made it. They're envious. They don't want to see you riding through the hood in a G-Wagon. They don't want to see you rolling up in a Bentley. They don't want to see you going to these local clubs that, you know what I'm saying, you probably couldn't get in at the time, but you come up in here and you getting VIP service in the back. They don't want to see that. They don't want to see that because it's a reality check for them. Because you probably went to the same schools. You probably grew up together. And you probably had the same opportunities as them. And they know that. And it's just a harsh reminder of probably them being upset with their own life. So they feel like their life is trash. They want to make their life trash too. There's nothing wrong with like donating and going down there for book bag drives and football camps and all that kind of stuff there. But man, these people don't want to see you out here thriving, man. They don't. Some people do, but they got a huge collection of individuals that don't want to see you shining out here. And I don't understand like why these guys gotta feel like they gotta prove something to some of these folks. If you made it and you're successful, there's nothing wrong with not being able to go back to where you came from. Not forgetting where you came from, but you can't move that way no more. You put yourself in that position. It'll be sad for somebody just to lose their life because they're trying to prove to everybody that they grew up with that they still real. Like if that person that grew up with you don't understand that, then maybe they're not the friend that you think that they are. I don't want to see that type of stuff, man. I get it. Like I completely understand it. But at the same time, you gotta move different, man. These dudes don't want to see you thriving. I mean, look, I mean, Boosie said it himself. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all, you know what I'm saying, know what I'm talking about. When he got out of jail and he was like, man, I'm getting out of Baton Rouge. He was like, man, people don't want to see you making in your own hometown. They, you know what I'm saying? They hypnotized by hate. It's true. A lot of these guys, they're upset that the situations that they've been in, you know, like and all of the things that they went through, and yet you're coming here with the same opportunities as them. You know, like it's just a reminder of probably the failures that they feel like they are. So, man, these people don't want that. If you need a Uzi, you hanging in with the wrong people. Yeah, that's the truth. Lad needs a lecture from me. Let's be honest, Master P. I don't know, man. I just think they made a mistake. I think he'll move different. I feel like he'll move different after this. I don't think that Lattimore gonna do anything like this ever again. I don't see that. Any help would be greatly appreciated on 31st in the hospital. Have a blessed day, Martin. Martin saying that you want to get donation, you want to give donation to his GoFundMe. Feel free to do so. New life brings new friends. It's okay not to forget, but don't let your past drag you back to it. I agree. You know, there's nothing wrong with remembering the past, but just don't let that past dictate your future, your bright future. Let's see. I know that TJ being from New Orleans, we know how it go. Hate to say it, but our city been like crabs in a bucket. I must say, man, people that I went to school with, I ain't really gotten like people that like envious of some of the things that I've done. I gotta say that, like a lot of people, I went to school with that I'm friends with, they support me. You know what I'm saying? Even the people that kind of knew me, didn't really, we wasn't really friends. They still support what I'm doing. They still watch and support the podcast. So, but I'm not on that level. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a multimillionaire. You know what I'm saying? I ain't out here, you know what I'm saying, making all the $100 million contracts like some of these other dudes be doing. It's a whole different tax bracket. And I just want these guys to just think about it. I just want these guys to think about some of the decisions that they're making. I'm gonna read two more and then we're gonna get up out of here. We don't see you balling. We need to work in the factory till you're 60, just like the rest of us. Basically, you know. And it ain't like it may not even be the factory. Some guys probably, was good, just as better. Like you look at some of these guys, you know what I'm saying, that you probably played football with, you probably was better than. Maybe you stick with it, maybe you got hurt, and you look at this guy here thriving, balling out, and you like, man, I used to beat up on this dude when I was in school. I used to, mouse him when I was in school or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like guys think about that stuff, and they become envy. They become envious of it. If any of you ever feel envy, don't use it to hate. Use it to motivate. I agree. Good stuff on here, TJ. Keep it coming, my friend. Thank you so much, Jay Dorsey. But I thank y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for being a part of the live. I know we talked a little bit about some of everything. We kind of do that from time to time, especially with these weekend videos, man. But hopefully, you got something out of it about the Saints' life. Hopefully, some of the comments motivated you. Special shout out to everybody that's listening, man. The brother that played Muhammad Ali um, on the Bumpy Johnson show, Godfather of Harlem. Thank you for passing by too, man. We appreciate that, man. It shows that you know, show was getting some love, man. Appreciate that. Shouts out to everybody in the chat that made this show and video what it is. And man, y'all already know, man. Much love to everybody. Thank y'all. Enjoy the rest of your day. Like always, all I gotta say is, who that?